Ago.
Hello, this year we're not only putting the spotlight on businesses, we're celebrating businesses, and for that matter, Ghanaian businesses, because we're saying make it Ghana. And so for that, I have come to this company. They've been in the metal fabrication for over 19 years, and they are a Ghanaian business. This is Accents and Arts, and welcome to today's edition, a special edition on the celebration of businesses and Ghanaian businesses for that matter, as I look at the story of this indigenous business that is making huge strides, not only in Ghana, but in Africa and across the world. Come along with me as I meet the CEO, the woman behind this establishment.
Ago.
This is Constance Swaniker. She's the CEO of the business. We're going to quickly go around this establishment. This is where the magic happens in terms of fabrication, to take us through what it is and what they do here and why they are making so much strides in what they're doing. Constance, welcome to the Citi Business Festival, and we're celebrating Ghanaian businesses, and we're happy to be here. You're doing some great stuff here. What is going on here?
Well, we're in the heart of the fabrication shop. Basically what we do is a mixture of designs and requests that clients bring. So there's nothing that we can't do here. So at Accents and Art, we have a tagline called Accents and Art Possibilities. Okay. And what we actually known is to custom make products for mostly architects, interior designers, private homeowners, and basically things that your ordinary roadside artisan
will
can
not be able to. There's something in town that they say about you guys. They say anything metal you can use to do anything.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. And that's what we're actually known for.
Okay, so what is happening here?
So on the floor, we also open up our factory floor to mostly students from the universities.
Okay.
It's very important for them to gain hands-on experience to bridge the gap between academia and industry. And so you see engineering students, you see all sorts of students studying different things, learning how to get their hands dirty and learning creativity and learning how everything applied also has a...
So not just the theory part, but you bring them the practical aspect
exactly,
here.
Exactly. And the interesting thing to note is that most of these students have actually never picked up a machine before.
Wow, they've been in the classrooms all the while.
It's just theory. Some of them are third-year engineering students, final year students. So you probably might want to see some of the things that they're doing.
So we have a number of engineers here now.
Exactly.
Engineers to be.
And they work alongside master craftsmen.
Okay.
And they're working on actual products, so we are not doing things for fun. I mean, that they're working on real life.
This will be sold, or this is somebody's order or something.
Exactly, and that's the whole idea, that when they come in, the seriousness at which we do things. We have the opportunity to work with our artisans on clients' products as well. So the learning is very fast within the short period that we're very hands-on, very
How long
intense.
would an engineer to be spent here to get a grasp of, you know, the handiwork and stuff like that?
So ideally, they should start coming to us from first year and spend maybe 8 weeks with us every holiday, so that by the time they graduate, they have, you know, quite a number of hours of working on the job, hands-on industry experience.
Nice.
They've been here with us for 8 weeks, and we do have some that do keep coming back. Okay. The good thing is when they go back to school, you see their grades also really going up. A lot of them will come in here.
Yeah.
You know,
they now have the real
hands-on experience. Exactly. So this is I see us giving back and paying
thank you. Thank you. And so this is a similar, you know, situation you're seeing over
so they are also working on different things.
Okay. All right. Okay.
In here, we also have students also learning how to finish.
Okay.
And this is where the issue is, because a lot of the products that come out is not well finished to meet global standards. So this is where once you're done, how then do you then ensure that the attention to detail, the finishing?
Yeah.
So they're learning manually how to sand, how to apply fillers, and all the chemical things that happen in here. This is what we're doing here.
Are you doing a lot of machine stuff or more of the manual thing?
It all
your
depends.
lineup?
It's a combination of things.
Okay.
But what we're actually known for is the handcrafted work, because you can't replace this special touch feel, handiwork with machinery. So it all depends on what the client brings in. There are some that is very mechanical, very technical, and there are some that pointing very delicate, very intricate, that is more hands-on.
What went into your decision to decide that I'm going to set up this factory and not just produce for my benefit in terms of the company, but to bring in students who can, understand or learn the practical thing? Because the Ghanaian education system most of the time is theory. We're struggling to get the practical to move it to the next level and compete appropriately. What led it to that decision?
So I was like one of those students there.
Okay.
Staying in university, I was studying a degree in arts, and there was nothing like this. I didn't have this sort of experience. And so I graduated with a degree that didn't really make me employable. And that's the challenge, the transition to work.
Yeah.
Industry expects that by the time we hire them, they do have a basic, they should know this. This is not a school, and so I realized that there was such a big gap between industry and academia.
Yeah.
And so I set up the Design and Technology Institute about 5 years ago to really focus on the missing link. And so these are actually students from our sister company, which is the school.
Okay.
And we practice what we call the dual tutor system. So they're in class 2 times a week and 3 times on the floor.
Oh, wow.
So they spend 8 hours on the floor going through the different aspects of production so that by the time they graduate, they're more employable. They have more employability skills.
Right. How has that been? Have you faced some challenges in rolling out something this good? I mean, it will come with its own challenges.
I think the biggest issue that a lot of Ghanaian companies will face would be access to finance. I always say that, unfavorable conditions. For instance, we use a lot of electricity. You think that the tariffs for industries will be lower.
Should be very low. Yeah.
So by the time you do your costing, and then of course now we have very high, the tax regulation. I mean, by the time you apply tax to your product, it makes our product much more expensive. That it's cheaper for people to bring foreign imported. So I think that for us, some of the policies that really affect Ghanaian businesses are things that otherwise it will collapse the manufacturing industry.
Because it's a sector that we want to grow, but it's difficult to do because of the tariffs and regulations and policies and all that.
And that is the sad fact that yes, we also need to churn out a generation of young people who work in industry. So if industries are folding up, you can imagine how this will translate to youth unemployment. We do need to pay attention to especially manufacturing companies and industries that would be linked to job creation. How are they looking at the lenses at which our companies operate? Because look at what we're doing for next generation of Ghanaian workers.
How many people pass through your hands in a year?
Oh my goodness. We've trained thousands of young people. Accent tonight is 23 years old. When we started opening our factory floors about 12 years ago, I can't even put a face to some of the students. But it's a joy to see them really doing well in industry. Some of them are excelling. They'll call you, I'm here, there, thanks for the experience.
What kind of industries are you serving? I know I've heard that some of your students and some people who pass through here in the oil and gas and some manufacturing.
Mining companies, I mean all sorts, because what we do here, welding is the basis of industrialization. So once they pass through here, remember I said all those students are engineering students. You can't go and work in a mining company or a maintenance yard if you can't even pick up a grinding machine. And so, we serve very important industries. But the hands-on and the practical experience is very, very needed to enable them. Otherwise, these are jobs that
go to foreigners and all that.
A lot of Indian welders, Filipino welders, because they tell you that unfortunately we can't find local content. Yet we do have a local content bill. So
This is exciting. I mean, filling the gaps of, employment and then adding value to what they're learning in school.
Yeah.
And the practical bit, I'm interested in the finishing, which we, like our local artisans, struggle to do.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing that you're doing that very well here. And I'm sure that was based on experience with seeing what was on our markets in terms of finishing.
Exactly, because I saw that this was also the gap.
Yeah.
And so we actually have what we call the ethos of precision quality. Everything that we do here is driven by the attention to detail. Everything should be precise. Everything should be done with precision in mind and quality. If we're going to compete on a global stage, then our product should match global standards.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, a lot of artisans don't understand that you're competing.
Yeah.
And if you want to also attract customers that are discerning and they have an eye for finish, there's no way
you can do that.
Yeah.
But so apart from the those in education, higher institution and all that, do you have local artisans who are probably not very educated being part of what you're driving?
Artisans are all artisans who've gone through the apprenticeship, roadside trading.
Wow.
And when they come here, we take them through very intensive, so we're very deliberate on capacity building.
Okay.
So all of them are now masters in their own craft. Some of them have been here 10 years, 12 years. Francis like this has been here, I think, over 16 years. And that's the thing, you don't want to train them and lose them so that they pass on to the next step. So we're very deliberate about passing on the skill sets for new sets of hires that come in.
How do you keep them? I mean, we all struggle to keep people in business.
Maybe you should ask him.
I would. I would ask him quickly, but I can see a beautiful piece behind it. What goes into creating this, beautiful, huge edifice, and what kind of metal is this?
We don't throw anything away. We recycle everything. So as I said, there's nothing we don't do here. So this is all offcuts that we've turned into a lovely sculpture piece. And
So what is the? I can see something like the screw, bolts thing.
Exactly. So you find that these are all scrap pieces that we put together. Yeah. So nothing is equal. So we're very big on sustainability as well. Everything is recycled. Nothing is thrown away. We always find a use for everything that we do. Yeah.
How long does it take to do something like that?
This will probably take about 2 months because everything is carefully put together and precision, exactly. So these are one-off custom pieces.
Wow, this is lovely. This is beautiful, and I see your work across the world. I was watching a video you did. I've forgotten the university, but it was outside. They had some of your products there.
Yes.
I mean, how did you make inroads into the global scene?
Again, once you do things, at a certain standard, you do attract, global recognition. So we've been lucky that I've done exhibition in quite a number of countries. Remember, I'm also an artist.
Yes, you are.
So apart from the metal product that we do for industry, I also do the creative side. I think that's the edge that we bring, the creativity that a lot of artisans usually wouldn't have. We bring creativity into everything.
Yeah. How do we, grow our creative world in this country? In Ghana, if you have a job, then it should be a doctor, it should be an architect, it should be an engineer. The creatives, we've not been able to embrace the power of creativity, and there's so many things we can do with it to grow the country, whether it's our GDP, whether it's our talent industry and all that.
Yeah.
You have seen the positivity of creativity.
So when we go in here, that's exactly what is happening. Here in there, we have another class. And this is what we're also doing in here. So these are young people who are now sitting behind their laptops because it feeds into what we do. So these are students that are, what are you guys doing here? Multimedia. So they're doing labeling, package design, they're doing all sorts. Because once you do that as well, we also need this sort of creativity. So they can tell you what they're doing in here.
What is happening here in 30 seconds? What is going on here? What do you guys do?
We are creating our portfolios, and then we are putting everything that we did ever since we started the TI till now, and then we are putting everything together. But in this class, we are some of us offer graphic design, some also animation, sound, and then photography.
Okay, so you've studied the metal stuff and all that? No, okay.
They are just focused
Just,
on the design because it's complementary to what we do.
What you do.
And that's where when you were talking about creativity, creativity is in different forms. So graphic design, animation, sound is also another dimension of design. So this class is focused on design innovation. Right. So then typically they would then do the sketches and the designs for us to build some of these things that they can use design software to design, and then we can take it out because they've created it from their imagination, and then we can build it in 3D form.
Yeah, I love the way you're infusing technology as well, because I'm told your school proper, you're doing the laser thing and everything.
Exactly. So this is this batch of students that are more into the technology aspect of what we do.
Wow.
So how do you fuse skills with technology? You can't separate the two. That's very integral to what we do on the floor as well.
Yeah. So these are some of your finished products.
These are some of
do they have names? Do they have, you know, I know creatives, we give things names we fall in love with, but I love this. This is also so beautiful.
Recycled from car tires.
So this is
car tires.
Oh my God. Wow. So what goes into the thought process of coming up with things like this? It's
creativity and innovation. This is bicycle chains.
That
bicycle chains, yes.
Okay. So bicycle chains, car tires.
Scrap metal, bicycle pads.
This is beautiful. Yeah. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. My name is Vivian Kai, a local. Today I'm here with Constance Swaniker, Accents and Arts. She's been running this business for some 19 years. We're not just creating a platform for businesses, but we're celebrating businesses, and not just any businesses, Ghanaian businesses. And so we find ourselves here in this Ghanaian-owned establishment that is making huge inroads, not just in Ghana and Africa, but globally. When we come back, I'll sit down proper with Constance, and she'll tell me the beginning of the journey and how she got here. To stay with us, we'll be right back.
Ago.
You're still watching Citi TV. My name is Vivian Kai, local. Today I'm here with Constance Swaniker. She's the CEO of Accents and Arts. They are into the fabrication of metals. They can use metals to do anything. And of course, you've seen some of the products that they are doing. We're going to talk about her journey, how she started this business, who she is, and what the future holds for this establishment that is making great inroads in the world. Constance, welcome back. It was a lovely journey. You took me through the factory. But who is Constance?
Oh, who is Constance? I think I'm a deeply reflective person. Because when you see beauty everywhere around you, it's important that you are able to stop and admire it, because that's where I get my inspiration from. And so I don't like a world that moves too fast.
Like take it slow and enjoy.
Not take it slow, because as you can see, it's a very busy environment, but it's important for me to stop and sometimes step back and reflect. And I think as a creative, that's where I get my inspiration from, to be able to be still, so that I can see precisely, you know, the beauty and the attention to things, and bring that back into my work. So how do I juxtapose the two between a really fast industry and then just be able to see beauty all around me?
How did the journey start for you? I mean, what led into the decision that, hey, I'm going to start this business, use metal to do all the beautiful things we're seeing today? How did it start? What led to that beginning of this beautiful journey you had here?
So when I was in university, I used to work in a carpentry workshop because I was curious about the industry, and I realized that there was something beyond, you know, just studying art for art's sake, because I wanted to touch, feel, how do I translate something that I had sketched on paper into something, into a product. And so I started just doing small pieces, you know, at the back of our house. Just doing small sculpture pieces, which I sold to family and friends, and this has been the journey.
Okay.
in the last 23 years, actually. Just doing things that I loved, and people saw it and, oh, can I have one? And, and so it was just referrals. And then the request to do more and more complex things. And I never said no to anything. Exactly, because as a creative, that's what we do, right? I mean, you're challenged when any customer brings a job, and then you have to now figure out, how do I build this thing? And I think that's the thing about almost like playing with Legos, and a jigsaw puzzle and putting things together. So that's what I love.
But what kind of challenges did you encounter as you grew this business? Because technology, we're still struggling to get the best of technology. This business, it's a creative one, but you also need the technology, some tools to make it fit into the kind of perfection you're looking at. Creatives like things to be a certain way.
Exactly.
How was that for you?
The machines that we use are very expensive. And so we've grown organically. And I think, I tell you, as women, we don't work with banknotes where risk adverse. And so we've grown organically. Just being very patient. And I always tell young, upcoming business owners, you need to take your time. So that when you make mistakes along the journey, it allows you to quickly recover from it. You can imagine you've gone to take a loan, high interest rates, that will collapse your business. And so that's something that I'm very grateful for, that we've grown organically over the years. And so when you make a little bit of profit, you plow back. Then you buy a couple of machines, and then, you plow back. And so I've had to sacrifice a lot. And not spend on frivolous things, but everything has been totally invested in the business. And I can proudly stand back and say that this is the result of hard work. Just plowing back and plowing back. Of course, we've also been very lucky to have also gotten some grants for SMEs, and so I take advantage of everything that is out there. Other business support for small company owners. And so a lot of that has also been technical assistance, otherwise consultants we couldn't have paid. And I always tell business owners, it's not about profits all the time, but sometimes the capacity you get from technical assistance in the form of a grant takes you to your next level. And so this is something that I've taken advantage of. Even business advisory services for myself, going back to school, so take advantage of opportunities out there.
What would you want the industry to look like in, say, 5 years? I mean, it's a huge one. I'm trying to think of the different people in the industry that are making inroads, and I'm struggling to do that. You are one of the, pacesetters, one of the trailblazers, one of the ones that is really making inroads. What do you look forward to in 5 years?
To see Accent and Art grow to become a really huge factory where we have state-of-the-art equipment, we're able to produce more exports to our neighboring countries and globally, and to be able to hire more staff to work with. I'm also looking at the future of, agribusinesses and the value chain. Because I think it's a pity that in Africa, all our raw materials goes out unprocessed. But when we look at the abundance of what we are blessed with, our shea butter shouldn't go out unprocessed, or our cocoa or our gold, and so how do we grow as a company to be able to look into the future of manufacturing? I definitely would like to see an international company setting up and partner with me and seeing that, oh wow, you have very well trained artisans. Can we expand this to become a really huge multinational company? And so that's what I would like to see. Not just because it satisfies my ego, but the fact that the impact of my work would be able to enable me to hire more people, so that you see the multiplier effect of what women do when we say that when you empower a woman, you empower entire community. And I think that is my driving force. And everything that we do should be driven by impact and the social need of how to then make the world a better place for other people who otherwise count on you, because you're the business owner, to open the doors for them as well.
What's your staff strength now?
We have about, I think, 30 artisans, and then when we get larger orders, we also have subcontractors who work with us. So it all depends on the project size. Unfortunately, because of the tax regulatory scheme now, a lot of construction has slowed down, and so most of our off-takers will be architects and builders. Okay. And so raw materials has really escalated, especially post-COVID where, shipping tariffs, bringing a container in, so that has really had a ripple effect on us as well. Yeah. We're only slowly recovering, but we're not out of the woods yet. But it's something that we hope that, would get better.
So for somebody watching you in your space, I mean, a student or somebody who is even done, what kind of advice would you give them in trying to also be able to grow the business, to come in and not, of course, have it easy, but to be able to sail through troubled waters?
You have to be passionate about what you do. And your passion will take you through the bad days and the good days because you know where you're going. Not everybody is meant to be an entrepreneur. It's not an easy journey, but it's a very rewarding journey. And that's the only advice that I'll have to say. Stay true to your passion. Yeah.
Right, thank you. We're celebrating Ghanaian business because we believe Make It Ghana agenda must be pushed for this country to grow and move to the level we see all these developed countries get to. And thank you so much for joining us for today's edition. My name is Vivian Kyle. I've been with Constance Swaniker looking at this beautiful journey of this wonderful Ghanaian business called Accents and Arts. Go to their shop, go to their website, go to their Instagram page, wherever you can find them, and patronize the business. And together, let's push the Made It Ghana agenda. Goodbye. See you again next time.
Ago.